RT Sports Fantasy Life Championship. Fantasy Savvy on X. We're back for another live draft. This time, Real Time Sports is our first one of the year. I did 2 drafts last year on Real Time. So I'm excited to get back into one of these drafts this year. Already done FFPC, um, NFC, FFWC. So this should be a lot of fun. 20 rounds, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flex. A little bit different in this format. So you could start 4 running backs, 4 receivers. I'm going to bring up the draft board in a sec as this draft is getting popping off in 12 seconds. So follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. Please like, subscribe, share. We'll be back with the draft board. Let's go. Welcome to the Fantasy Savvy Weekly Show with your host, Steve D'Angelo, discussing high-stakes fantasy football, NFL picks, and much more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, draft board is up. Again, Real Time Sports Fantasy Life Championship. I think Fantasy Life took the sponsorship this year. Saw a draft that Ian and Dwayne did. And in this format, it seems like the running backs go a little bit earlier. And, these guys, maybe a little bit of an older crowd like myself. So we came up with the running backs winning fantasy championships. And it seems like a lot of these guys take running backs early. So you got to grab some running backs, it seems like, at least in their draft. And I remember last year, too, the running backs went kind of early as well. So we'll see how this one shakes out. The last draft I did the other night on NFC, I grabbed 3 straight running backs. I could have grabbed the 4th. I'm actually kind of mad because Kyron fell into the 4th round, but I had to take a receiver because you start 3 receivers in that league. So I took Worthy. But, in this one, he's probably going to go in the 2nd round. So seems like quarterbacks, the elite ones go in the 3rd. Bowers and McBride still going in the 2nd round in this one as well. I believe I have to look at the scoring. I believe it might be 5 points per passing touchdown in this one. NFC is 6. But again, I played in 2 of these last year. And the one team was great all season long. Was in first place all season long. And I believe I just missed out on making the postseason, and I lost in the playoffs in the 1st round. But I was in first place all year. I was a pretty strong team. So we'll see. We'll take another shot at this baby. And we will rock and roll. I just lost the draft room. Okay. So coming up next, McCaffrey's still there. Genty's still there. If McCaffrey's there, I'm going to take him. I haven't got any shares of McCaffrey yet. We'll see. He does not go there. Justin Jefferson goes. Obviously a very good pick there as well. So, actually, we do have Ashton Genty on the thumbnail. So what do we do here? Do we go CMC or do we go Ashton Genty? Dang. We wanted to grab some CMC. Feels right here. Niners should have a revival this year as well. It's Genty or CMC. I think I got to go with Christian McCaffrey here. And there it goes. CMC. So my first share, I got to get some Genty too. I don't think I have, maybe I have one Genty in all the drafts I've done so far. Other than best ball, obviously. But all these, these redraft mid-high stake leagues that I'm doing, I don't think I have any Genti. And that was my first of CMC. I maybe have one Genti. I got to look back. But yeah, it's close. You could take Neighbors there. I like taking Neighbors in that spot. Puka's there, but now you got the Stafford back injury. So that definitely could linger. He's old enough. He's struggled with injuries in the past, but he seems like he just gets out in the field and he gets it done. Brian Thomas is a guy I keep missing out on. So I got to start getting shares of him. But again, the backs I believe in this draft are going to go pretty quick. So let's see how they move in the second round. Some of these receivers are too good to pass up, obviously, in the first round. So they're going to go no matter what. But as the second round comes, I think we're going to see second, third round, we're going to see a lot more running backs go. So far, Chase, the usual, Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, Lamb, Jefferson, McCaffrey, Neighbors, nothing crazy so far. Genti, they'll Chase usually goes first, and then Bijan, Gibbs, kind of get mixed up. Sometimes Jefferson gets pushed up. Neighbors, Genti kind of going around that range as well. But thanks for joining me, guys, tonight. Another draft in the books on a Monday night here, first day of the week. And we got our boy Jamie. Says, yo, Steve, what's up, Jamie? Real Time Sports used to be where I did all my drafts before Sleeper. Yeah, man, this is a really good website. I just really found out about it 2 years ago. And I didn't do any of their drafts 2 years ago. Last year was the first time I did a draft. And then somebody did like a postseason league on here. I think Pete's dad ran it. And then also I did a college football picks pool on this too. So I like this site a lot. They got a lot of cool tournaments. Jamie says he's got over 50 championships on that site. I used to be a top 100 player on there. Awesome, man. Maybe me and you could do a draft on here live. Maybe we could figure out something, Jamie. We could do something together. We got to do something together regardless soon, Jamie, whether it's a best ball draft or just a show in general. We got to do something too, man. So I'll be in touch with you. I only do 1 or 2 drafts now, but I still have highly experienced. That's awesome, man. I started playoffs on RT Sports in 2012. Is that when it started? Oh, no, actually, I think I saw it was 1995. They started this, so they were out like when AOL was around. I don't know. I think that's what I saw. All right. So Puka, Brian Thomas, Devin Achane, Nico. I'm going to swing back around here again. CMC, he could still be the RB1. Again, I had an opportunity in a RotoWire Online Championship about a month ago to get him in the middle of the second round, and I passed on him for Derrick Henry. But I should have took him there because you're never really going to ever see him go there. It seems like, he was kind of going to the back end of the first round, and now he's getting pushed up to like the middle. Sometimes he still goes to the back end, but most of the time he gets pushed up towards the middle, late first round. But to find him in the middle of the second round, I should have took him there because that would have been a unique build for me. So I'm kind of pissed about that I passed on him. Just like I'm a little pissed that I passed on Kyron in the 4th round the other night. So sometimes you got to look at that ADP value, and maybe you don't want to take a guy because maybe you have too much of them or, or whatever. That's not the build you want at that point. But if he's past a certain ADP, and, you can kind of get those unique builds, and you play in these tournaments, and those unique builds will help you win, get to the leaderboard sometimes. Yeah, man, let's do it. Let's do it, Jamie. Al, our boy as well, says, sup, Steve. What's up, Al? Hope you're having a good night tonight, man. Thanks for joining me tonight. And, we're gearing up, man. We're going to get a bunch of more preseason games this week. There's a lot of, different training camp reports going on, a lot of different information, a lot of injuries messing things up. I'm going to go over some of that soon after my next pick. I'm going to read some of the updated training camp news. So, we draft. You guys look at the board. I'll analyze the players. We'll talk fantasy football strategy. We'll go over, we'll kind of put everything into one show, you know, through the live draft. We talk about fantasy football rankings, analysis, ADP, bus sleepers, all that as we go through the draft board. So we mix it up, but going to keep doing these live drafts. Get some different guys on the show hopefully soon. I always kind of go late night. Seems like the spot for me because my kids are in bed. I'm kind of done with everything I need to do, and it's just a peaceful time to do the show. And I don't know. It seems like it's an easier time for me to do drafts too because it's hard for me to draft at 8:00 or 6:00 a lot of times. I'm still doing stuff with the kids and whatnot. So these later drafts. All right. So running backs could go Chase Brown here. Johnny Taylor still there. We're gonna wait on running back. Let's look at receivers. Tyreek, I have not been taking. So that would be a different build for me as well. The receivers are kind of going here. Could go to Bowers, which I kind of like. And that's what I'm going to do here. I haven't been getting a lot of Brock Bowers. I just think you put Brock Bowers in your lineup and you just expect, solid, consistent production every single week. Whereas Tyreek could go absolutely ape shit and break fantasy again. And they got rid of Jonnu and maybe McDaniels, realizes he's got to get oh man, that freaking buzzer's on. Maybe he realizes he's got to get the ball downfield a bit more. But then, you see him talking about Tyreek in the press conference and the Dolphins. I don't know. I just don't trust Tua. All the swing passes to Achane. He's still got Waddle there. I don't know. McDaniel's got to get those guys the ball. So Tyreek can go off, and I want to get some Tyreek. I'm not going to dismiss Tyreek, but I'm going to take Bowers here in the second round, and go CMC Bowers. Kind of like it. I want to pull up the scoring here real quick. I just wanted to confirm what the heck the scoring was here. Let's see. Full rules here. First off, it's a $300 entry. 4 points for passing touchdown, minus 1 for an interception. 1 point PPR, no tight end premium. Pretty standard here. Yes, there's a playoff here. 4 teams make the playoffs. Usually the top 2 advance to the championship round. First place wins 1,000. I'm sorry. Top overall prize if you get to the championship round is 500,000. So that's more than the RotoWire Online Championship, which is 250. But again, there's probably more entries in this one as well. What is the league prize in this? It's probably like 1,200. I don't know. I don't see it here for some reason. But anyway, very good site. I like the site. Solid. I'm happy that I jumped in last year. I only did 2 of these last year. We'll see if I do more. Kind of mixing it up between the FFWC, FFPC, and the RT Sports and the NFC. NFC is where I do most of my drafts. I think they kind of do the best job making it feel like a league, like a real fantasy league, and like they have, the Hall of Fame and all that. I think that's cool. But again, you start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex, 1 defense, 1 kicker in this format. And that's that. All right, let's go back here. And where are we at? All right. Wanted to talk about some training camp news. Some interesting training camp news. Bayshell 2 in his back in practice, which is good. I kind of like going after him. It's going to be, Bigsby, ETN. It's going to be tough, but I mean, Tutin's the guy that Cohen drafted. So I think he may, and I do like him. So I'm kind of intrigued. Keaton Mitchell looks back healthy. He could jump Justice Hill a little bit and give you some flex value, but it could be a mix between those three guys too. Rashid Ali is, I guess, is in the mix as well. But Keaton Mitchell, if you guys remember, obviously a couple of years ago, he flashed that speed. He was doing great. Then he tore his ACL. Looks like Addison's looking at a 3-game suspension, 2 to 3 game. We kind of expected that. Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones supposedly going to be like a 50-50 thing, which you could definitely see. You could see Jordan Mason kind of taking goal line carries, kind of keeping Aaron Jones healthy. And I like Jordan Mason. I think, it's not just him being a product of that San Francisco system. I think he's a very high quality running back, bowling ball, break tackles, underrated receiver. I like going after him late. The camp battle between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson is basically even right now, but where were we a month ago? Everybody and their mother kind of gave up on Richardson, including myself, who I picked Richardson to win this job. Before, I said Jones obviously could have a leg up, but I was rooting for Richardson to win the job, and I thought he would win the job if he had a good camp. But he got hurt, his shoulder, but he came back camp, and now he's looked good. A lot of the reporters, the beat reporters are saying that he's looked better than Jones. Some are saying, it's even, but I think Anthony Richardson, if he looks good in the preseason games, you got to go with him. And I think the Colts know that as well. He's been on the team. He was their number 1 pick. Jones has regressed in his career. Richardson needs reps. So he gives them most upside, whereas Daniel Jones is more like a back fall safety option. But he could resurrect his career in Indy as well. But Anthony Richardson is starting to get drafted now. Again, he was being dismissed in best ball draft, wasn't even being drafted after that injury. And now he's going and redrafting these 20-round leagues and in best ball leagues too, because of the upside. So, you don't take one of those elite quarterbacks, you get Richardson as your 3rd quarterback, maybe, or just throw him on your roster to steal him from the league because the upside he could potentially have. I believe there was a stat. He was like number 1 in points per drop back, fantasy points per drop back 2 years ago. So, that just goes to show you that if he's on the field and he's getting, starting games, he'll produce fantasy points with his legs. I mean, that'll be the main reason why he's producing. But he should develop more as a passer, and they have a lot of good receivers. The Colts, man, they really are kind of stacked in that room with Alec Pierce and Adonai Mitchell. Supposedly has looked good in camp. Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, Ashton Doolin, Anthony Gold is supposedly looking good as well. I kind of liked his tape coming out of college. There goes Trey McBride in the 3rd round. So, you could say take Kittle in the 4th, but you got to get some of Bowers. I mean, Kittle in the 4th is a great value. That's where he's going. You got to get some of Bowers, get a little bit of McBride. These guys, McBride's going to get 5,000 targets from Murray again. He's just that big body that Murray can see. He's that big body that boxes out defenders. And, 2 touchdowns last year, 0 the year before, 1 the year before. So you give him double-digit touchdowns, even if it catches go down, the fantasy numbers are going to be wild. So looks like Josh Allen will be going off the board here soon. Alexander Mattison supposedly getting some praise here. Could be the backup over Jalen Wright, or be in that mix. Again, the Dolphins, they kind of like to use 2 or 3 guys in the mix. So Mattison could be that guy, with Jalen Wright instead of Ollie Gordon. And Mattison, it's like he always kind of looks good on tape when you watch him, but it never really translates in the stat lines. All right, so Allen is there for me if I want to take him. We got Kamara there. Again, the backs are starting to fly now. James Cook, Kenny Walker. I still don't have a receiver. I haven't been getting a lot of Garrett Wilson. So I'm going to take Garrett Wilson here in the third round. Get my first receiver there. Again, you only have to start 2 here, but you can start up to 4. So, a little bit different than the NFC where you have to start 3. Yeah, London would have been nice. I probably would have taken Drake London. Supposedly, like I was watching the training camp on NFL Network, and Baldinger was saying that it's unbelievable how many targets Drake London is getting. It's like he's catching nonstop passes from Penix, and I really do think Penix could have a big season throwing the ball. If they can keep him healthy, which is he's kind of been a concern in his career, if they could protect him, if you could protect Penix, he could pick you apart. So I'm kind of excited about Drake London this year. I like Taylor over Chase Brown. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one as well. I just haven't got any Chase Brown yet. I've gotten some Taylor. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the conundrum with Chase Brown. Everybody's kind of like it feels kind of early to take Chase Brown in the second round. Or even the third sometimes. But if you get him in the third, it's a little bit better. But he's going in the second round mostly. Seems too early for Kyren. I've been grabbing him for early fourth and underdog. Yeah, he went to the fourth on the NFC, but sometimes he'll go second, sometimes he'll go third round. But again, this format, the running backs kind of fly up a little bit higher for the most part. I like that 2-spot team a lot so far. Bijan, AJ Brown, McConkey. That's solid. 100%. I love McConkey. He should be even better this year with Herbert. Second year in the league. Bijan should have a big year. AJ Brown could definitely have a bigger season. Our boy Will is in the chat. Evening, my man. Evening to you, man. Hopefully you're having a good night, Will. Thanks for joining me tonight. Jay says, how do you like the interface on RT versus the others? I like it. I think FFPC probably has the best graphics for their draft room. And then NFC. FFWC's, I kind of like their draft board as well. And it's like you can pull it up easy, but this is fine for me too. I gotta get a little logo on my team there. But yeah, no, this is cool, man. Fantasy Life Championship. 1995 they started. Wow. So they're like the OGs. And it's funny because I never really used this site until a couple of years ago or last year, but I didn't really find it till 2 years ago. And you could host your own leagues on here. There's a bunch of different things you could do. So definitely check them out. rtsports.com. They got postseason leagues you could run, postseason contests as well. And I'm pretty sure they have other sports as well, not just football. I think they have baseball too. I'm not positive. Don't hold me to that. Josh Allen at the end of the third round. That's a nice little value. Usually he's going middle of the third. Sometimes, and he'll go fourth, but so let's see what I come back with. And again, I didn't even really get much Fields yet, so I wanted to get him. I mean, not Fields, sorry. I'm maybe revealing my strategy. Garrett Wilson, rather. I've been taking a lot of Fields, that's for sure. And I got to get a running back. James Cook is, all of a sudden he was in camp. Then the last 2 days, he's holding in, not practicing. I guess he expected that, he'd show good faith by showing up to practice. That he could get a good deal, to get something done. Sounds like the Bills gave him an offer. He didn't like it. So now he's holding in, and we'll see where this baby ends up. I don't know. This almost seems like this is something that could drag into the season. Um, it's possible. So we'll have to wait and see. He did not look happy at all. McLaurin's doing the same thing. I think he was shaking hands with the owner today. So McLaurin's a little older. I think that one won't drag into the season. I think that will get done. And then the Micah Parsons one obviously is a hot mess, but we don't care about that in unless we're playing IDP leagues or you're a Cowboys fan. Well, I know what I'm going to do a running back. I already have one solid one. So I got a plan at running back. Quarterbacks, again, Daniels is still there. That is intriguing to me because I haven't got any Daniels yet. I've taken a little Hurts. I haven't taken Burrow. I normally traditionally don't take Burrow. And, unless I'm getting like the chase in the first with the first pick or second pick or whatever, or maybe T. Higgins in the second, third round. I'm probably just going to leave Burrow alone. Although you could have him, but I don't know what I'm going to do here. Do I take a quarterback or do I take a running back? Receiver, I'm going to sit on for now. Kamara would be nice. But I think I'm going to take Jaden if he's there. Because, again, I haven't had any shares of Jaden yet. But I do have Garrett Wilson. So I could wait and get the Field stack again, which, Fields could be somewhat close to Jaden Daniels. I mean, as far as rushing yards, at least, Jaden Daniels, 900 rushing yards last year. Fields ran for 1,000. One of three quarterbacks to do that. What am I doing? There goes James Cook. Do I want to grab Kamara here? Do I want to grab Jaden Daniels? Or do I want to wait on quarterback? I'm going to grab Daniels. So, getting a tight end and a quarterback, that combo in the first 4 rounds can kind of throw off your builds a little bit. You got to build right. I'm going to have to fill in with the right players. But at the same time, you're getting Bowers, who is a stud, and you're getting Jaden Daniels, who, had obviously a huge year as a rookie, running for 900 yards with 25 passing touchdowns. So it helps your teams a lot. You just got to be able to fill in the right running backs and receivers after that as well. But now I'll sit on a tight end and quarterback. I don't need to take any of those guys for a while. So while other guys are going to grab some quarterbacks, I can get some value there in the middle rounds. Still early to middle rounds as well. So, there's, again, yes, last night, or what was it, 2 nights ago, whatever it was, 3 straight running backs. Tonight, running back, tight end, receiver, quarterback. Again, this format's a little bit different. You only need to start 2 running backs and 2 receivers. You could start 3 tight ends. You could start 4 running backs. You could start 4 receivers. Will Steven, I can't bring myself to believe in Madison. Too many opportunities missed. He's kind of like, again, he always looks good on tape, but then he doesn't go anywhere. But I mean, he was decent with the Raiders last year, and Miami might not be a bad. I think he could beat out Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon for the second back there. It's not like Jalen Wright looked that good. I mean, obviously he's hyped. His college tape looked good, but I think Madison could kind of be a little bit of a thorn to people who are drafting Jalen Wright. So, I think it's worth considering and paying attention to. I like the Garrett Wilson pick. I can grab him when I can in the early third. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been getting them, so I want to get some Garrett Wilson. But anytime you take a Jets, well, you know how it is, man. They are definitely burn your ass. What about for Fab? I think it's $1,000, Jay. The usual. Let me take this scroller at the bottom off. But guys, yeah, like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. If you're listening, if you guys want to jump in the comments, if we haven't seen you before, shout out. We'll shout you out. Any comments about the draft, anything fantasy football related, movies, whatever you want to talk about, we'll get into it. Having the top quarterback and top tight end can give you an advantage. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was kind of saying. And yeah, Daniels has that QB1 upside. Some people are predicting he will be the QB1. I think it will probably be Josh Allen, Lamar once again. But the only thing I think Daniels has to prove is he could, stay durable throughout the season if he's running that much. And that's the one question. I think as a passer, I just think he's so seasoned and he's such a, he was so prepared coming in. I think he'll only get better. Now, maybe Cliff Kingsbury's system gets beat up a little bit. But they had Debo. McLaurin should get back there. Maybe Luke McCaffrey gets a little bit better. So we'll see. Have you seen Happy Gilmore 2 yet? Yeah, I actually did watch it last week. And I thought it was the second half. The first half was cool. The second half was a little wonky, but I thought it was good, man. I enjoyed it. I think I'd give it like a C+, B-. Obviously, can't touch the first one, but I enjoyed it. I think it's worth the watch, man. I definitely thought, it was good how they brought all the people back and he was creative with it. I feel like I enjoy most Adam Sandler movies no matter what. So, yeah, I liked it. What did you think, Jamie? You liked it? All right. Some more camp news. Bucky Irving, and a lot of this is coming from Dan Graziano, viewed by people in the building as special enough to warrant a high volume running back one role. And I agree. I took him last night or the other night in the second round. I love Bucky Irving. I think he's a gifted running back for sure. So he showed out much more than Rachaad White. Rachaad White barely even played down the stretch, and Bucky was kind of banged up too. Was still getting a lot of snaps down the stretch. So I think Rachaad White will still be involved to an extent, but not like his usual role. And I don't even know if he'll have flex value. We'll see. Consistent flex value at least. I think those days for Rachaad White might be done. Again, no Tristan Wirfs, new coordinator, but the O-line's still pretty good. The offense is high octane. Baker Mayfield has turned his career completely around. He gets better and better every single year. Great weapons. The ball they'll be moving the ball. Bucky Irving's in a great spot. So I think Bucky Irving is a very safe pick. Even though you got to pay more of a premium, obviously, this year compared to last year when you're getting such a value. All right. There goes Kamara. There goes Harvey. So I have a running back in mind. If he's there, I got to take him. I guess I'm going to have to wait on receiver because, again, we're seeing RJ Harvey in the fourth round when he usually goes sixth, maybe early as fifth. Chuba Hubbard in the fifth. Again, the running backs get pushed up here. So I don't want to burn myself too much and wait another round. Let me get this kid. Oh, this guy, older guy. Or older kid, whatever you want to call him, if he's still there. I hope he is. Actually, there's two backs that I'd be happy with. Actually, it's three. Two that I prefer, or one that I want to get because I haven't been getting them yet, but I have two fallbacks just in case. I think DeAndre Swift went in the fourth round in the one that Dwayne and Ian did. And they have that up on the site. If you guys want to check that out, it was kind of cool to get their insight. Those two drafting together, talking about the players, and I think it was a good watch. I I kind of just looked at the board. I was kind of getting ready for this. I only watched like maybe a half hour of it, but it was pretty good. There goes DeAndre Swift in the 5th round before T-Mac. I don't know what to think about T-Mac yet, man. I like his size. I feel like those comeback routes, I feel like, he'll probably run a lot of those, and that's something that will help Bryce Young. He's going to be a big target for him. I don't know how he's going to totally convert to the NFL, though. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I like him. I'm not like very high on him. I don't think he's like a special receiver. I'm not sure he deserved to be the number 1 receiver, but I think he'll definitely help the Panthers. I just don't know if he's going a little bit too high for me. I gotta warm up to a little bit more. I've tried to watch. I've watched him a few times. I got to go back and watch. One more time, all his targets in college from last year. Make a final decision, but I just know he hasn't really popped out to me completely just yet. There goes Rashee Rice in the 5th round. So, normally he's been going in the 4th. I think he should be going like in the 6th. Because I think he might be facing a 6-game suspension. All right, we're up next. Still some pretty good receivers on the board. So let's go to running back. There goes James Conner. I've been taking a lot of Tony Pollard. I like Tony Pollard. I think he's a good value. I think he's going to have a nice year with Cam Ward. Cam Ward, man, he seems like he's all business. So I think the Titans are going to have a nice season with him. But I'm going to go Caleb Johnson. I like him a lot, and I love his opportunity. And I'm glad I finally got one of my first shares of him here in these drafts. RJ Harvey's the other guy I want to get, but I do like Caleb Johnson. I actually think he's pound for pound. I think he's better than Marion Hampton when I watch those two guys. I think Caleb Johnson's better to me. Now, maybe Hampton's in a better situation. And Najee, he's like doing walking exercises. I don't know what the hell's going on. Doesn't sound good for Najee. So it could be like all Hampton, which could be huge. And I do like Caleb Johnson more than Henderson as well. I think he's a more talented back. And I think Ramondre's in the way. Whereas, Jaylen Warren, I guess he's a little bit in the way, but I mean, Caleb's going to get those goal line touches. I just think he's an NFL ready back. You got Rodgers there now. They're going to move the ball. They got some pretty good weapons. I mean, they added Jonnu. Freiermuth's nice. Oh, that's another camp report. Supposedly Freiermuth is the undisputed tight end 1 there. And Freiermuth got shit on once Jonnu started. I mean, you can get Freiermuth for nothing now. So, there was reports like Freiermuth's going to stay at the block and Jonnu's going to get split out and, run the route. So that's possible. But I feel like Freiermuth is a guy that Rodgers could really, really rely on and be solid for him. So if you can't get it, if your tight end room's not looking great, I think you can take a shot on Freiermuth. But anyway, you got Metcalf there. Roman Wilson's a guy I like to take late. I think he'll be like a nice weapon for Rodgers as well this year. Calvin Austin's not terrible. So I think their offense will be improved this year. And I think Caleb Johnson could get, double-digit touchdowns. There goes Devonta Smith. TJ Hockenson has that groin injury. So I got to go back to receiver now before these guys get chewed up. There's still some good receivers out there, though. But there goes Travis Hunter. And the depth chart came out. He was number 2 on the depth chart as the starter over Diami Brown. I did go to the camp. I actually wanted to talk about that the other night, but I forgot to. Went to the camp last week, Jaguars camp. It was like 97 degrees, but they had, they had an awning. You're in the stands. It was right next to the stadium. They had fans on. And it was cool. Like the PA announcer was announcing all the different setups they were doing, 2-minute drill, red zone drill, and he was explaining why it was important. So that was kind of cool because I went to the Panthers camp about Bryce Young's rookie year, and that was at Wolford College in South Carolina. And it was like this huge field, and like you had to like walk to these different spots. But at least you could film and record there, dude. They wouldn't let you record or film at the Jaguars camp at all. So I couldn't get any pictures or videos. But Travis Hunter caught a screen pass. He caught a touchdown in the back of the end zone, but he was out of bounds. Remember Lawrence, all those touchdowns out of bounds. So that was out of bounds. And then he slipped on a double move. He kind of looked like he wasn't like running full speed. I mean, again, it was hot as hell. He could have played more defense in the first half of the practice. I missed that. I only saw the second half of the practice, and he played all offense. But Dyami Brown was getting a lot of work. He caught a lot of passes, caught a 30-yard corner route in the 2-minute drill. So I think he's going to be somewhat involved. So like a best ball draft, I think he's a good late pick. Tootin was hurt, so I didn't really see him. And Lawrence made some nice throws. But it was just, I was there for like an hour and a half. So that's what I saw. I didn't like to see Hunter slip on that double move. I didn't think his route running was, has come along that much. It was still kind of sloppy. But they're gonna rely on him like in open space, screen passes, and then he just uses his run after the catch ability with his speed. He's definitely gonna make some big plays. It's just how much are they gonna use him on offense versus defense? But it sounds like they're definitely gonna. It sounds like 70% at least. All right, so I'm gonna pass on running back for now. Receivers, we got Judy there. We got Calvin Ridley. We got Zay Flowers. We got Jordan Addison. Been taking a lot of Zay Flowers. Man, this is a tough one. Godwin's still sitting there too. Sounds like they expect him back week 1. But there's a chance he could miss a couple games. That was the report today. Or there's a chance he can make week 1, but he could miss a couple games. You know what? I'm going to go Ridley because Cam Ward. Think about Ridley. He went for 1,000 last year with Mason Rudolph and Will Levis. So I think he'll be a lot more consistent. I think Tyler Lockett might be decent for them too. And, could maybe offset Ridley a little bit, but Ridley should be the number 1 guy there. 100%. A.M. Manor, he's okay. The other rookie, DK, I don't think he's going to do much. So it should be Ridley. And maybe I'll grab Cam Ward in this draft. But yeah, I like Judy though. I think Judy's gonna have a nice season. But again, the quarterback situation is weird there. If Flacco gets hurt, who steps in? Is it Sanders? Is it Kenny Pickett? That could get ugly. So Flacco, he could get benched by like week 7. If after he throws like 14 picks. So, that could get a little ugly in Cleveland. At least you got quarterback stability. And I really believe in Cam Ward. Even though he's a rookie, I feel like he'll be pretty solid. Olave's got Tyler Shuck. Addison's facing a 2-3 game suspension. So I think Ridley was the right pick. Godwin could miss a couple games. Zay Flowers is another guy I would have taken there. But I have a ton of Zay Flowers already. So I wanted to mix it up there. Jay says lots of green on that board through 5 compared to NFFC. Yeah, man. Tons of running backs. The same thing I did last year. Same draft I did last year. It was the running backs were the theme early. And then I looked at Dwayne and Ian's draft, and it was the same thing in their draft. I think Swift went in the 4th round in that one. Brian 7 says, hey, I have pick 13 in my redraft PPR 14 team league. Should I be aggressive and take wide receiver, or wide receiver running back and start off safe? 14 team league, like that, man. Usually, people are playing in 12 teams. So shout out to the 14 teams. I play in one 16 team league, which is cool. I don't play any 14 team leagues. I know NFC has that classic, which I may try to do. I don't know. We'll see. But I would say, man, let the draft come to you. I wouldn't say you got to go receiver, or running back, or wide receiver, running back. Just let the draft come to you, man. You know, I don't think you see what the board looks like, and take the guys you believe in. Now, I don't think you need to stick to. I don't think you need to go in with a certain strategy. Just let the board come to you because it's going to be mixed up in every single draft. Brahma, what's up, man? I'm team 7. McCaffrey, Bowers, Wilson, Daniels, Caleb Johnson, Ridley is my start. This format again, you can start 2 running backs. You start 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and 2 flex. Ended up with Minnesota, Miami, Carolina stack with both receivers for all 3 teams and the Minnesota tight end. Wow, that's dope. What draft was that? I like Minnesota stack, man, with McCarthy. I feel like McCarthy and that offense, I think he's gonna have a nice year. So if you get Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson, I like that a lot. FFWC sweet, man. I like that. Third spot. Mason solid. Miami. I mean, I don't trust Tua, but I mean, again, 2 years ago, he led the NFL in passing yards, and then they got rid of Jonnu, so they should be throwing the ball down the field more this year. And hey, maybe if even if Tua gets hurt, maybe Zach Wilson can actually get those guys the ball deep. At least maybe McDaniels just let Zach Wilson chuck. Like the Jets just kept him so constricted, dink and dunking, and they wouldn't let him kind of be himself. Maybe Zach Wilson steps there at some sort, starts throwing bombs to Waddle and Tyreek because he has the arm to do it. And then the Carolina stack is definitely interesting. I think Bryce Young should definitely be running a lot. So I like that, man. Brian says Achane or Neighbors PPR. That's close, man. I think I prefer Neighbors though. I think Neighbors could just go absolutely nuts. Even with Russ Wilson, I kind of like Neighbors slightly more. And Neighbors is going, before Achane most drafts. Got an 18. Will Stevenson says, got an 18 team guillotine league forming if you want in. You know who you have to hit up for that is Ben. He loves guillotine. I've been hitting him up because I think NFC or FFPC, they both run guillotine leagues. I've never done a guillotine league, but send me the info, man. I might be into that. That sounds crazy. Guillotine sounds nuts. I've never played a guillotine league, so maybe I'll try one out this year. So yeah, man, send me the info on that. DM me on that on Twitter, man, or X. Definitely be interested. But Ben, I think, would definitely be in if you have some spots open as well. I think Carolina surprises a lot of people. Yeah, man. If Bryce Young continues to develop, I think they could too. Thanks, Will. Appreciate that, man. All right, back to the draft. I'm on the clock, or I'm on deck rather. Judkins is scary, man. I don't know what kind of suspension he might be facing a real serious suspension. So, and I mean the opportunity is there for him. But that is scary. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to him. Juwan Jennings, Diggs, Odunze, Olave is there for me if I want to take him. ETN. Cam Scatabo is dealing with something now. I think a hammy. I think he was hurt and then he came back and then he got hurt again. So it seems like he pushed it. And maybe that wasn't the best choice. I got 2 running backs. The running backs are kind of slim here. ETN or Brian Robinson wouldn't be a bad one right here, but I think I'd rather take a receiver. And Godwin is still there. Seventh round Godwin is not bad. But I think I'd rather maybe go Olave again. You know what? I'll take Olave again. Why not? I freaking missed out on Ricky Pearsall again. I can't ever draft him. I would have definitely taken him there. I always miss out on him. I'm just gonna have to force it and start taking him earlier, I guess. It's my spots. I always miss him by a couple spots. And I think Pearsall, even before the report the other day with him and Brock Purdy showing a connection, I was kind of really getting high on him. So now with the Jennings thing, the Ayuk news, I mean, he's gonna be a big factor. And I could have maybe built a little Niner stack there too with Purdy. Although I don't really like drafting Purdy, but he should be better this year and closer to what he did 2 years ago. I mean, last year, just 20 touchdowns. It was a rough season for the Niners all around. Their schedule is much easier. I think they have one of the easiest schedules. I think they should win 11, 12 games this year. J.K. Dobbins, that's another training camp report. Supposedly, he's the RB1 because he could pass block, and Harvey, that's his weakness. So that's, something interesting. Obviously, Harvey continues to go higher. Dobbins, he's solid, but he just can't stay on the field for a full season. But Broncos beat writer Benjamin Albright said, I suggest J.K. Dobbins is RB1 and stays that way until R.J. Harvey gets better at pass protection. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But I think Dobbins is a great, a good pick at running back. Even if he gives you, 12, 14 games, like he did last year. He missed 4 games last year. And then, he's been struggling. He just can't stay on the field for a full season. But it's a good situation. And I actually do think Estime is a good late pick in deeper leagues as well. I feel like he may still be utilized. And if Dobbins goes down, he enters into a really good situation. So Estime's kind of been forgotten about ever since Dobbins. He's been, he's not even getting drafted anymore. So far through 7 rounds, we got CMC, Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Johnson, Ridley, and Olave. Not bad. Kind of like it. See how we finish this one out. We started this draft at 11 o'clock. We're almost an hour in. We're almost at 12 o'clock. Tet or Myers? I like Jacoby Myers, but he's going to be behind. I don't know, man. That's you know what I mean. I think it's a little. I think you go with Tet, but I think maybe Myers is safer because you know what to expect, and upgrade at quarterback as well. Even though Genty's in the building now, so that's going to take away from the passing game a little bit. But I think the Raiders' offense is going to put up points. I really think they're going to be a nice offense to watch. And then, you got Dante Thornton. The guy runs a 4.365. Jack Beck, I like a lot. So I think you got to go with Tet, though, for the upside. And, Bryce Young. Again, I'm not all the way there on Tet, but I think he's going to be a big target for Bryce Young. Bryce Young's going to want to throw to him. And that's kind of what their thinking was. Get him a big-ass target that is easy to see and that he could hit. No, Leggett is like 6'2", 6'3", but what's Tet, 6'4", 6'5", lengthy, can get up. So, yeah, he's going to be a good target for Bryce Young. I just don't know how much of a crazy season he's going to get. I think you're referring to Cam there on the hammy, Jay. Do you think the Hill trades to Washington is trash? I haven't heard that. So, but I mean, I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I don't know. Tyreek is it's a little Miami is a little nutty right now. Waddle hasn't paid off his value. He's been kind of inconsistent the past couple of years. Um, he was a second round pick and he fell back. And Tyreek now had a horrible year. He's 31 years old. Achan, his fantasy value is skyrockets because of all the passing work he gets, but wasn't really great as a runner last year. And even 2 years ago, he had those couple big games, but outside of those big games, his running was not great. But he's just so utilized. Again, went to the game last year, Bills Dolphins. Tua got hurt in that game. They were getting blown out in the second half. Achane is coming back from a high ankle sprain, and McDaniels is still using him in the fourth quarter, down like 20. So, whatever it was 20, they were down like 30. Josh Allen wasn't even playing anymore. I think they brought in Trubisky. So I don't know what the hell McDaniels was doing. So that could have been a factor too, because he was playing with a high ankle sprain. Maybe he was struggling with it most of the year, but he was out there. Team 2 is cooking. And Bijan, AJ Brown, Ladd, DK Chuba, Jerry Judy, Kelsey. Kelsey looks kind of fresh in camp. Jay says, wouldn't be worried about a Niner stack with Daniels already. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I was just throwing it out there, but I probably wouldn't take Purdy. Won't make it to the end tonight. No problem, man. Thanks you for joining me. You can rewatch it if you want, man. So leave whenever you want, man. I don't know how many more of these late ones I'm going to do either, because they kind of throw me off. I mean, they're kind of tough. This one's a little bit earlier than the Midnight Owl. But this baby's probably going to go to about 12. Hopefully this baby might go to like 1. This draft is moving snail, man. This is going to take 2 hours. But that RotoWire Online went 2 hours the other night too. Could have gone Debo for that stack over Olave. True. Good call there, man. I just have so much Debo. But yeah, probably would have made a little bit more sense to go Debo there with Daniels. Caleb J or Trevion. I like Caleb Johnson more than Trevion. I think he's going to have a better season. And, oh shit, I'm on the clock. All right, so I took ETN. I haven't got any ETN yet. Actually, no, there was one draft where I took ETN and Tootin. So I was talking a little too much there. Yeah. The guy just said, "You okay?" I said, "Yeah." I'm live streaming. I was talking too much. I wasn't paying attention. These people are like, "What the hell is this guy's team name?" Jeps, Scissors, and Lanterns. I like to throw people off my. I always come up with like these fake business names for my team names. But I bet there's no scissors and lantern stores throughout the entire world. But maybe there is. I guess there could be a one store name like that. But anyway, people are probably like, "What the hell is that?" But maybe I'll grab Tootin too. But you're right, man. You know what? I probably should have taken Debo there, but I'm cool with Olave. I don't know. I think Debo should be nice, but I'm a little bit worried about how he's going to fit there too. But he's certainly a good value. I mean, I just been drafting him so much because he just keeps sitting there in that range, and he's one of the better. He looks like one of the better receivers on the board. Jay says, I just go with the movie team, fictional team names. Yeah, that's cool too. And people definitely get some good creative names out there. There was a dude on Face Off, Ryan. He did the 100 best team names. There was definitely some good ones on there. All right. Brown signing Tyler Huntley. So another freaking quarterback in the room. I don't know what the hell is going on there. I guess Gabriel must look maybe I saw some throws he was making. It looked pretty rough. Sanders has been a little bit banged up, Pickett was back in practice. Sanders was back today. Flacco, has been the only guy who stayed healthy the whole time, and he's the oldest. So, Sanders was saying he wasn't used to throwing and then taking breaks. That's why his shoulder was getting sore. I don't know. I guess it's, maybe it's like pitchers now. They're not throwing over 100 pitches anymore, and they're getting hurt more. Seems like. And always remember scissors and lanterns for your LGBTQ splunking needs. Also, it's a joke. No hate on my end. Yeah, pretty good one there, brother. I mean, I know about the scissors, but I don't know where the lanterns comes in. I guess to create a vibe, maybe. Will. And it's usually Jeb, and this one is Jep. So a little bit different there. All right. So everybody likes team 2. Or Will likes team 2, rather. And what other teams do you like so far? Looking at these builds, Gibbs, Kyron, kind of early there, second round. McBride, Harvey, Tet, Mixon, Juwan Jennings, Mayfield. Team 6, kind of like Jefferson, Chase, Kittle, Hurts, Connor, Jones, Pearsall, Higgins. Team 8, Neighbors, London, Higgins, Cook, Trevion, Pacheco, Dobbins, Abuka. Team 9, Genty, Irving. I like that start. JSN, Moore, Devonta, Waddle. That's pretty solid. Then he gets Brian Robinson. That's pretty solid. Team 10, St. Brown, Henry, Devontae, Evans, Hawk, Pollard, Mahomes, Golden. That's pretty good. Team 11, Puka, Brian Thomas, Kenny Walker, McLaurin. I like that start. JMO, Mason. Yeah, I like that one. I like Kenny Walker, man. I've been drafting a lot of him. I've held back a little bit. I'm going to start picking up on him again. But again, he's a guy like could if he stays healthy, he's out there 17 games in that system, he could really just blow out. And team 12, Achane, Nico, Josh Allen. Again, Marv, I'm not really into. Hunter, we'll see. Worthy in the 6th round is great. I like that a lot. I like Worthy getting Worthy in the 6th round. I took him in the 4th round the other night. And he's moving up, obviously, with the Rice injury. But I still rather would have Worthy than Rice. I think Rice is going to get suspended 6 games. That's my prediction. Most maybe people think 4, but I think it's going to be 6. So I think he should be going maybe 6th, 7th round. Or, where Worthy went in this draft. There goes Cam Scatabo. Dak, Mayfield back-to-back for team 3. So team 1 has the stack, Chase Burrow stack. That's like the most common stack you're going to see across, league. Shit, I'm up again. Let me pay attention. Josh Downs still there. That receiver. Running backs. Could go 2 in here. Garendo hurt again. He's going to miss a couple weeks. I mean, the guy just cannot stay healthy. So Jordan James Now looks like he's going to be moving up, obviously. Do I want to take Josh Downs? Or do I want to take Rudy Tootin? Fresh and fruity. Where the hell's Tootin? There he is. All right. I take Tootin. So I got the Jags backfield again. Don't mind that strategy. Think if you could lock up the Jags backfield, it's pretty solid. And again, both those guys could have value. So, and it gives me a little bit more depth. You know, I got 4 running backs now in a draft where a lot of the running backs are going. We're gonna have to figure out receiver. Got to build some more depth here. But my boy Rashid Shaheed will be waiting in the wings, coming to save me, and then I'll have the Saints stack take Tyler Shuck in the 20th round. Nobody's gonna have that stack. Or very very few people have. I'm not taking Tyler Shuck, but Rashid Shaheed. I don't know. I just keep drafting the damn guy. Splunking is exploring caves. Lantern would light the way. Yeah. There you go, man. Sorry, my bad. Will's always got good jokes, man. Ingram, Njoku, good values in the 9th round at tight end for sure. Dylan Sampson's the guy that I kind of dismissed early on, but I went back and watched him. I like him a little bit more now. I don't know if he totally converts to the NFL, but I mean, if Jokins is going to maybe miss, I don't know what kind of suspension he's facing. There hasn't been any word, but some people have said he could get suspended for the whole year. Because it's just bad what he did. I mean, it's like Ray Rice type stuff. So it might be bad for him. So Sampson, with Ford, I mean, might not be terrible. I just got to come around on his talent a little bit more. I did see some flashes from him. Definitely was highly productive. A lot of touchdowns in Tennessee. I got to come around a little bit more. Ray Davis getting pushed up into the 9th round now. Garendo, Rashad White, the backs are just flying off the board, man. So I'm happy. And Ramondre just getting shit on. Nobody wants Ramondre Stevenson. Nick Chubb's still there. I like that. Trey Benson, that report, Connor coming out and saying it's going to be RB1. They're both RB1. I don't know about that. I think Connor still maintains that job and maintains the majority of the carries. Look at the quarterbacks. I'm not taking a quarterback here. All right. I think we go back to receiver. Mooney, kind of like, but there's a chance like he could miss a couple weeks. I don't know. It sounds like that shoulder injury is pretty serious. Trey Harris, I like. Kyle Williams. I think I'm good at running back, even though Najee and Ramondre are both sitting there. Still, I think I'd prefer. I have so much Najee that I drafted early before he blew up his eye. And even after he blew up his eye, I think I drafted him a few times. Let's go back to receiver here. I kind of want to take Mooney. But Trey Harris is tempting. Keon Coleman. This is a tough choice here. I mean, Shakir has a high ankle sprain now. Mm. That Buffalo Bills passing game just seems like it's going to be so spread out. There goes Justin Fields. I could have waited, not taking Daniels, and got Fields Wilson stack. So I'm not going to have any stack here. Um, kind of like Trey Harris, man. I'm going to take Trey Harris. I like him, and with Herbert, the passing volume, whatnot. But I think he could really. I think he's going to be a good player for Herbert. Herbert's, he'll give his receiver chances, and Trey Harris is like he's good in traffic. He go up and get the ball. Ole Miss, SEC, I like it. Keon intrigues me. I wasn't crazy high on Keon as a prospect. He's good at 50-50 balls. He was coming on a little bit last year. Then he got hurt, kind of, slowed his progress down. But again, I think it's just going to be so mixed up there. I mean, freaking Mac Hollins led the team in touchdowns last year. Got Palmer there now, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, Kincaid. So I don't know. I don't think Keon is the type of receiver that could really emerge as a true number one. I think Trey Harris has a little more upside actually than Coleman. But Mooney, I like too. I think Mooney could have 1,000 yards this year. But he's always hurt. He's always freaking hurt, Mooney. There goes Najee. They want to know what you guys thought of my Travis Etienne picks. I told them I'm live streaming. So, what did you guys think of my Travis Etienne pick? Let me know. Anybody here? I took Etienne after I took. Right before I took two in the 8th round. There goes Keon Coleman. Anybody out there still? Did you guys all leave me? What do you think of the Travis Etienne pick? Did everybody fall asleep on me? I know Jay said he was going to leave early tonight. Will Stevenson dropped his splunking lanterns and scissors joke. I don't know if he's still around. Brian, you still around? Brommel, you still around? I think I'm going to go with go back to receiver here. Will says, love your drafts. Check your DM. Got to hit the rack. Got an early morning working on branding for LBG2 logging company, Scissor Me Timber. I like that, Will. Before you go, man, what do you think of the Travis Etienne pick in the 7th round? Let me know. Quinshawn goes there in the 10th. Nick Chubb, Najee. Still, nobody wants Ramondre Stevenson. He's being shit on in this draft that has had 10,000 running backs go already. I mean, he's with names like Justice Hill, Rico Dowdle, Jerome Ford, Austin Eckler. I mean, if he's there, I'm taking him. Mooney's still there. Hollywood Brown. Shaheed is being shit on too. There goes Trey Benson. That's a good pick there. Jay says, given the options, he likes it. I agree. And then Will says, I'm out on ETN, by the way. Tank can hold onto the ball. I'd rather take a toot and see what happens. Yeah, I'd rather Rudy Fruity, fresh and fruity, Rudy Tooty. Remember that all that freaking slam breakfast from IHOP, the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity? Remember that? Does anybody remember that? With that dude who used to bring the commercial? Man, I used to love going to Denny's when I was a kid. I remember I used to come to Florida when I was a kid to visit my grandma out here. My dad used to live out here. And I used to go to Denny's, man. I used to love it when I was a kid. Now there's a Denny's by my house. I never go. I just can't eat that shit anymore as much as I could. My kids love it though. But yeah, the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity at IHOP. So that's my nickname for Tootin'. So I got ETN. If he doesn't pan out, I got Tootin'. So I'll take a part of that backfield. There's Tucker Kraft. He's dealing with a groin injury, but sounds like he's pretty much okay. They just want to give him some rest because he was kind of playing through it. So he should be fine. But again, I have so much. There goes Ramondre, so I'm not going to be able to get him there. Tight ends are kind of hit. Kate's still there. He's further down on this list. Dallas Goedert is still there. Quarterbacks. Herbert's still there. Still got Drake May. We still got Bryce Young. We still got Jordan Love. We still got Gino, I think is going to be pretty good. And, so I don't think I need to take a quarterback yet. Let's go back to receiver. And Mooney's still there. I'm going to take Mooney. I like it. Just stay healthy for me, Mooney. Damn it. Ayuk's still there too, but I don't know what the hell is going to go on with Ayuk, man. He might miss. I mean, he might miss 2 months. Who the hell knows? So receivers now, and there goes Ayuk right after I took him, right after I took Mooney. Receivers now, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Darnell Mooney, and Trey Harris. Not bad. Running backs, CMC, Caleb Johnson, Travis Etienne, and Bashal Tootin. So running back room, not the greatest, but at least I think I have the Jags backfield locked up unless Bigsby steals my dreams. But I think Tootin or Etienne. One of those two should lead the way. Will says, wow, completely forgot about that. Yeah. So in the morning, when you get to the bathroom, you call it a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Spears could be a nice sleeper pick. The Grand Slam was a rite of passage, man. The Grand Slam, the best. I remember going to the buffets like back in the day. And now when I stay at a hotel, I don't even go to the breakfast anymore. My wife gets up. They're usually done by like 9. I stay in the room. I'm sleeping. But I remember back in the day going to those buffet breakfasts. They used to have the bacon. They make like 50,000 pieces of bacon. I used to grab like 10 pieces and then go back for another 5 more. Brian remembers the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity and Brenton Strange. I never draft Brenton Strange. I got to go back and watch him again. I kind of liked him. I thought he was talented. There's other guys that I prefer, but I definitely want to go back and watch him. I know he had those couple of good games, then he kind of died out. But yeah, I think he'll be decent. I kind of like him more for best ball. I think he'll be kind of inconsistent to rely on at as your tight end too. It's not bad, I don't think though. Like you could probably get him in the 20th round, but I got to go back and watch him again. I haven't checked him out, but I remember watching him last year. I did like his talent. He's kind of forgotten about too. He's kind of he's a good value because nobody's really talking about him, or not many people are talking. I know, Hoff likes him, likes taking him. Kyle Williams, Marquise Brown, two guys that I was maybe looking at there. I think maybe we go back to the usual suspects here. Luther Burden's still there. Leggett, not a bad one. Well, I mean, this is easy for me here. I can't pass up on my boy, I don't think. Kyle Monungai getting praise today from Ben Johnson. So, supposedly he could be in the mix. He's going to be a guy we use or rely on. So, maybe the Roshan, Jamie, if you're still listening, I don't know if Kyle Monungai is going to be a little bit of a thorn there. Another Rutgers running back, just like Pacheco, big, strong body running back, late round pick. So he'll be interesting. Eckler's still there. Dowdle. An hour 20 on the show. Shoney's. Anybody remember Shoney's breakfast buffet? Best grits ever had. You know what? I don't think I have. Maybe I went to Shoney's for breakfast one time. But I got a funny story about Shoney's. I was driving in the car with my mother-in-law, my wife, and my brother-in-law, and we were looking for something to eat. My brother-in-law goes, we can go to Shoney's. And my mother-in-law goes, we ain't going to those Shoney's. Damn Shoney's. I don't want no Shoney's. Shoney's. So we ended up going to freaking, where the hell did we go? Charlie Brown's. I think we went to Charlie Brown's instead. There's not many of them left either. But yeah, Shoney's, man, like 80s, 90s, those places dominated with the breakfasts. Now you got all these fancy schmancy places. Am I back up? No, I'm up. After this, looks like Christian Kirk is the pick. All right. All right, now I'm up. And I mean, this guy is just sitting there. And I usually don't like taking two Saints, but Rashid Shaheed, I feel like, is one of the best values around this time, and I just can't stop drafting them. So, Leggett, Burden, Hopkins, Mims, Betch. Betch is high up on here, but again, I don't know how much he's going to be involved. Although I like Betch a lot, kind of want to take Leggett, but let's go with Shaheed. 12, almost 12:30, baby. And we are in round 12. Six positional players left. Then I got to take kicker, defense. Let me ask them if you have to take a kicker in a defense. FFWC, you don't have to. You can just draft positional players and just make sure your lineup is legal by week 1. Oh, you don't? Sweet. So I don't even have to take a kicker or defense tonight. I love it. There goes Caleb Williams. I'm getting tired myself, boys. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to pump out. Probably this chamomile tea I'm drinking. I should have freaking drank something to spruce me up a little bit more. Maybe some green tea. Maybe a beer. It's only a Monday. I drank a lot of wine yesterday. I had the family over for Sunday dinner. Drank probably like a bottle of vino. So yeah, can't be drinking here on a Monday. But especially in vacation, man, you drink a lot on vacation. So you got to get a little bit of a break. Maybe we'll get a Friday draft in here. We'll crack a couple. All right, round 13 is coming up for my pick. I just went 3 straight receivers. I still only have 4 running backs. Now I have 6 receivers total. I got my tight end. I got my quarterback. As far as backup tight end and quarterback, I can still wait. I'm gonna draft another quarterback. Fields went a little bit earlier. Usually, 10th round is kind of where he goes. Sometimes he goes 11th, maybe 12th. But I still think Fields is one of the best picks at quarterback this year. If he plays 17 games, he's gonna be great for fantasy. It's just such a great value with the running upside. Herbert's a really good value as well. I mean, all these guys can be really good values. It's just that with some of these guys, they're going to give you weeks where they just burn you. And they're not going to give you like those explosive monster weeks that a Jackson or an Allen or a Burrow, a Daniels kind of give you. But again, Daniels' second year, there's still some question marks. No matter what, no matter how good he looked last year. Think about CJ Stroud and Love, although Daniels has that rushing upside, keeps him safer. Same with Knicks as well. But anyway, Allen and Jackson just will give you those smash games, those consistent every week, 20 points for the most part. I think Allen maybe had like 1 or 2 games, that Miami game that I was at, they were blowing him out. I think he threw like 11 passes in the whole game to get like 7, 8 fantasy points. But it's going to be very, very rare for him. Where some of these later guys, they could just give you those really slow weeks, 2, 3, 4, 5 shitty weeks, which can cost you. JJ McCarthy, another pick that I like late. I think he's going to run. He's got the meniscus from last year, but he should be over that. He runs a lot. He's got unbelievable weapons, but an unbelievable coach who made freaking Josh Dobbs and freaking Nick Mullins throw for 300 yards. So I think he's a really, and again, I like that Viking stack. McCarthy and Jefferson, McCarthy, Addison, or all 3, or Hawkinson. There goes Jalen Wright. Jarquez Hunter goes. I was thinking about him. I have a million Jarquez Hunter, but I think I got to go back to running back here. Where the hell is he? Damn. Should I take Jordan James? Did Bashard Smith get drafted? Holy shit. Oh my God. I missed out on both those guys. Yeah, Bashard Smith got taken too. Shit. The running backs just going this shit, man. Dowdle, Manungai. Oh man, the backs. Kareem Hunt. Marshall and Lloyd cannot stay healthy. But I'm going to take them. I need some running backs. Giddens is not a bad one. Um, so that is my fifth running back. Marshall and Lloyd, man, the guy is always freaking hurt. He's supposedly he was looking good in camp too. But these running backs are just going, man. They're going. I was thinking maybe I could at least get Jarquez or Brashard Smith. I'm gonna have to take some running backs I usually don't take in this draft. Will, sorry, man. Sid laughing at the joke I said early. Ended up at Sizzler. I don't think there's any Sizzlers left, man. Golden Corral. I actually have one of those by my house too. We go in Sizzler. I remember Steak and Ale. That's another throwback. Yeah, we go in Sizzler from White Man Can't Jump. People in my league have been saying my team is not it this year. Let me know if I did bad drafting starting at the 1-3. All right, Ed, what you got, man? We'll pull it up. If you haven't subscribed to the show, man, appreciate you subscribing, liking the show. Starters, quarterback, Bo Nix. Running backs, Bucky, Hampton. Receivers, Jefferson, Jackson, Smith, Bowers. What the heck's wrong with this team, bro? Golden, Steelers, D, and Jake Bates. How many teams in this league? You got Bucky Irving, you got Justin Jefferson, and you got Bowers. Three studs. Hampton, I'm not, I don't like where he's going in drafts, but again, Najee, we don't know. And he's going to be the RB1 right now in that system. So that's solid. JSN, solid. Bowers, Golden should be nice. How many teams in this league? Will says, good night for real this time. See you in that guillotine, brother. Yeah, man. Thanks for sending that to me, Will. Thanks for joining me tonight, brother. See you in the next draft. See you in the X streets, brother. Have a good week ahead. Brian says, would you feel all right in a deep league if you had Hubbard as your RB1, but your receivers are Nico and Brown? It depends who my other running backs are. You should, if you fill them in with it's tough to say. I mean, you got to look at the entire team. I think Hubbard, though, kind of proved his worth last year. They paid him. He had that terrible yards per carry 2 years. I think he was under 4 yards per carry. But last year, man, he really looked good. They were opening up holes for him. And I'm not really worried about Rico Dowdle. I think Hubbard's better than him. Trevor Etienne, yeah, I think Hubbard just got it there. So I don't feel great about him as my RB1. Brees Hall as the RB2. Well, Brees Hall would be your RB1, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, man. I think you can make it work. And it's a deeper league. How many teams? 14. So, it really depends on your whole roster. But you could definitely make it work. And I think Hubbard should have another solid season. And the offense is going to be even better. Yeah, I don't play in a lot of ESPN. I played in the past. I haven't played in ESPN in a while. I play Yahoo, I play Sleeper, CBS, and then I play these leagues. Shit, am I up again? All right, I'm on the clock. Nobody wants Dowdle. Legette's still there, huh? I would take Legette. Got to take some running backs though. And this draft is moving at a snail's pace. This is the longest clock. I mean, they give you a minute 10 to pick. Think about underdog, 20 seconds. And most are a minute. You give you an extra 10 seconds here. So again, different formats. But I don't know how many more of these late night drafts. I'm going to try to start going for like the 9, 10 o'clocks. If I can get those in. We got to get some more running backs. I got to find some good ones here. So this is challenging me a little bit. I'm cool at receiver right now. Although there's still a couple guys that I like. And I don't need to draft a kicker or a defense, which is good. So, which I like and helps me. Again, you got to be legal by week 1. Isaiah Likely banged up. They're saying he may, he might not be back week 1. There goes Giddens. I was thinking about him. I really haven't been getting him. I wanted to get him. Mason Taylor, a little bit banged up now. Camp. Freiermuth, I talked about earlier. He's kind of a good value. Where is Brenton Strange? Oh, he got drafted. Bateman, good pick here. Quarterbacks. Oh my God, the quarterbacks. All right, I got to grab another quarterback because there's not many left. I got to grab one soon. There goes Jordan Love. Let's see. Let's see what happens when it swings back to me. There goes another tight end off the board, Hunter Henry. Good late pick. Brian says, good night. Good night, Brian. Thanks for joining me tonight, brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming in. We'll be doing more of these, man. Hopefully a little bit earlier so you guys can stay with us the whole night. I know this one went a little late. Didn't expect it to go an hour and a half. Usually you do the NFC RotoWires. They go about an hour, maybe sometimes a little bit over an hour. But this one's going to go about 2 hours. But thanks for joining me tonight, Brian. Hit the subscription button, like button if you haven't already. Appreciate that, man. Have a good night. And we got 18 on Twitter watching us, 6 on YouTube, 1 on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, comment on the show. Woody Marks moving up now with the Joe Mixon news. And there goes Tua, another quarterback off the board. Oh, I'm going to have this is going to force me into taking a quarterback here. There's not many left. Guy just said, why are you taking a third quarterback? Can't the Packers fan have Love? He's got Burrow. Oh, this guy's got Mayfield, Prescott, and Love in a 1 quarterback league. I mean, I don't mind it. Could play matchups. And Tua goes. Quarterbacks left: Trevor Lawrence, Bryce Young, Geno, Darnold, Rodgers, Richardson, Penix. Oh, Penix is still there. Cam Ward, there's still some quarterbacks left. I don't have to bug out. I should take Cam Ward. I'm talking him up. There goes Lawrence, another quarterback off the board. DeAndre Hopkins, interesting. Keenan Allen worked out with the Chargers. It went well. He still hasn't signed there yet, but he may sign there. We'll see what happens. There's not a lot of good receivers left. Roman Wilson is a guy I like to take late. Jalen Royals, I like him. I think he could do a lot of what Rashee Rice does. I'll show you guys this. Let me just scroll up here. This is how it looks from the other end. So you can see my bench slots, pretty cool. Starting slots kind of shows you that's a little bit different. You get all the different teams here. Your queue is here. You cross them out. You can X them out. The draft board here, and then the little chat here, and then all the players here. You can see it here. Top 300. Antonio Gibson, Kyle Monangai. Again, good reports on Monangai. Maybe I'll just take him. Rutgers guy, Jersey guy. Maybe I'll do it. Let's see what happens. I'm up next. Let's bring the board back. Brandon Aubrey. We got a kicker. There goes Jalen Royals. There goes Elijah Mitchell. Highest paid Kansas City running back, according to Luke from the other night. Big Chiefs fan. All right, we're going running back here, or do we go quarterback? There goes Penix. Quarterbacks are getting very slim. I don't know. The running backs are so hit. Kareem Hunt, man. I mean, it's not a terrible pick. And the running backs are so hit. Taj Brooks. Let's go Monangai. Take a shot. Why not? I'm not going to have many shares of Kyle Monangai, that's for sure. So again, this format, the running backs, and then everybody's drafting quarterbacks. So Krosky, Merrick, not a bad pick there either. Maybe that made more sense since I have Jaden Daniels, but I don't think he's going to see the field with B-Rob. I mean, B-Rob or Eckler go down, yeah. We'll see the field a little bit, but I'm not all the way there on him yet. I got a double take on him. Even Monangai, I'm not really on yet either, but just force into him. So could have took Krosky, Merrick Jr. there. Rico Dowdle is not a terrible one. If Hubbard gets hurt, it's a good opportunity for him. Man, they're running Kareem Hunt. I might have to take Kareem Hunt. I mean, he probably will start for them. I mean, it's going to be him and Pacheco kind of splitting. I mean, Hunt did a good job with them last year. He was better than Pacheco, but again, Key Mitchell, good pick. I was talking to him up early in the show. Good pick there. But Pacheco should be a lot better this year now, a little bit healthier after that fibula, just like Tony Pollard a few years ago. Actually, I have a good pick here, running back. Actually, I have a couple guys that I like here. Jalen McMillan, good pick. I think he's underrated. Penix is a good late pick. Let me just check something real quick. Make sure my audio is on here. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. All right. Anybody still in the room, or is everybody going to sleep? I know it's late here. 12:44. We got any West Coasters? Any people? Anybody on the West Coast? Hopefully, this baby's wrapped up by 1. My kids are still up. They go back to school next week. They go back earlier here in Florida, but they get out earlier. Oh shit! I'm up again. All right, back on the clock. Oh no, not yet. Oh yeah, back on the clock. Did he get taken? Cam Ward get taken? Shit. Where's Cam Ward? I don't know. Cam Ward's still there. You know what? I don't ever take Cam Ward. I mean, I take him a little bit. I'm going to take Cam Ward here. I got Ridley. So I get a little bit of a stack, and I'm going to take another player on his team if he's still there as well. But these guys are taking quarterbacks left and right. So, there goes Dowdle, finally off the board. The highest ranked guy on their list, and I just left their list. I didn't do my own list. The highest ranked guy on their list right now is Antonio Gibson at 120. Then Jaleel McLaughlin. Then Zach Moss. Then Hopkins. Nobody wants Hopkins, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I know he was a disaster on the Chiefs, but he kind of came in there late in the year. And that's kind of way the way Reed is. He doesn't like to he kind of works his receivers in slow, even a veteran like Hopkins. So, he's there with Lamar in the offseason, plenty of time to learn the offense. Might be a little bit of a resurgence for Hopkins, but you got Bateman, you got Zay, you got Andrews, Likely's hurt, Derrick Henry. So, how much is he really going to give you? And his days of being a true number 1 are pretty much gone, but not a terrible, terrible pick here. I don't know. This is a different format, man. I got to do one more of these, and I don't know how I'm gonna work it. Next time I'll wait on my quarterback and I'll wait on my tight end, and I'll grab a couple more running backs. It almost feels like this draft goes deeper for some reason, and it's gonna go deeper because not everybody's gonna take a kicker or defense too. So it's gonna take more of these positional guys. Again, you only have to be legal by week 1. So we're almost done with the 16th round to the 17th round. Again, guys, like, subscribe, share to the show. I do a lot of these live drafts. It's mostly what I do, whether it's FFPC or NFC or FFWC or this RT Sports. Some best ball drafts as well. I want to start bringing some other guys on when I can. We had Joe on a couple times. Got to get some other guys on as well. And then, follow me on Exit Fantasy Savvy. I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Through 16 rounds, McCaffrey, Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Daniels, Caleb Johnson, Ridley Olave, Travis Etienne, and Trey Harris, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, Marshawn Lloyd, Xavier Legette, Kyle Monangai, Cam Ward. Can't say I'm in love with this team, but I mean, it could be really good if McCaffrey is McCaffrey. It's gonna be a pretty good team. Daniel stays healthy. Caleb, is out there 17 weeks. So I think this team could work. It's a little bit different from what I normally do, obviously. I went tight end and quarterback early, so I had to kind of ship it around. And everybody's drafting running backs. As you could see here, a lot of running backs are off the board. Very, very deep. There goes Kareem Hunt. The Jack in the Box. Mike Gesicki. Gesicki. Miles Sanders getting drafted. Goes Dontavian Wicks. Oh, we got Steve in the room. Hey man, first time here. Been playing fantasy football for about 10 years now. Won the past 2 years in a league with friends here in town. Nice, man. Congrats to you, brother. Steve says, going to give you a follow. I'll be here all year. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Are you on the West Coast? Thanks for jumping in, man. Steve to Steve here. Yeah, man. We'll be doing more of these drafts all the way up until week 1. Probably like this the set maybe Friday or Saturday night before the season starts on Sunday after that Thursday night game. And then we'll be doing shows all year as well. Corpus Christi, Texas. Shout out to you, man. Never been to Texas. Want to make my way out there for sure. Been to the West Coast, been to Cali, been to Colorado, Wyoming, and been to Arizona, but never been to Texas. So I got to get there. Corpus Christi, sweet, man. Thanks for joining us tonight, brother. Thanks for the follow and this is the like and the subscribe, man. Appreciate it. All right, back on the clock. And what do we want to do here? There's some running backs that I like. There's a running back that I like. Is he still there? Tell me he didn't get drafted. You know what? I need another tight end, but I could wait. I'm going to take this guy with the Garendo news, Jordan James. Because I do have Christian McCaffrey, so it makes sense. And again, Garendo, Jordan James, rookie from Oregon, just like Bucky. I don't think he's as good as Bucky, but you put him in a San Francisco system in that offense. If CMC misses time and Garendo can't stay healthy, so I don't mind it here in the 17th round. Coming up on 2 hours, RT Sports, Real-Time Sports, Fantasy Life, Championship Fantasy Life, Matthew Berry, Dwayne McFarland, Ian Hartitz. Those guys do a great job. There's definitely one of the some of the analysts I definitely follow, along with Establish the Run and Fantasy Points. Those are kind of my 3 that I follow the most, kind of the biggest names, but I think they give a lot of great info. They have a lot of good analysts. RotoWire, Online Championship, Big Gorilla FFPC, another good tournament there, and the FFWC, all good. Underdog, DraftKings, Drafters, I draft on all of them. CBS, Yahoo, Sleeper, do home leagues there as well. So you guys ever want to hit me up on X, any fantasy questions you have, feel free to ask. I'll answer them. Maybe we'll start a Discord or something at some point, maybe this year. We'll see. We'll be doing some fab during the year, NFL picks, something else I do. I want to do some future bets before the season starts as well. So lots of things planned. So guys, make sure you are like and subscribe to the show. Steve says, in a 12-man league, I'm drafting 9th this year. I had Achane last year and I liked him. If Genty and Achane are there, who you going? Half point PPR. Well, Achane, man, he was awesome last year. Paid off his value, caught so many passes out of the backfield, and that could be the same thing again. Tua likes to check the ball down. He's got Waddle and freaking Tyreek Hill, but they like to throw swing passes to Achane. They like to throw screens to Achane, and that really, really makes him valuable in fantasy. I think Genty is the better back, the better running back. More talented running back, more of a true NFL running back, pure between the tackles runner. Achan has shown to be a little bit, injury prone, but played through a high ankle sprain last year. Stayed on the field for the most part. So it's very, very close, man. I think with the half point PPR, I'll give the slight nod to Genty, and he's been going, before Achan most of these drafts anyway. Add on the half PPR. I'll go with Genty, and I think let me just make my pick, and then I'll get back to you, buddy. Um, I'm going to take Kendre Miller. Another back that I like. I think Kamara could get traded at some point, but I think they're going to use more Kendre this year. Dennis Allen, he gets fired. Kendre Miller finally gets playing time. You get them, in the basement the whole time Dennis Allen was there. But back to you, Steve, with that question. Achan, he's proven what he could do fantasy wise. Genty, we still don't know, but with Tom Brady there, Pete Carroll, he wants to run the football. Geno's an upgraded quarterback there. You got Bowers, you got Jacoby Myers, Jack Betch, who I like, the kid Thornton could open things up for them as well. They're going to be in scoring position a lot. Genty could have 15 touchdowns in his rookie year. I mean, it's possible. So with the half PPR, I'm going to lean Genty there, man. Thanks for the question. Christian Ferguson, what's up, buddy? Don't recognize you. First timer, looks like. I'm the 101 in a dynasty startup, 10-man. One quarterback, dynasty startup. Wow, 10-man. One quarterback, two flex. I already drafted Jamar and Drake London. Should I draft Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, Hampton, Bucky Irving, A.J. Brown, JSN, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall? What is the scoring? Is it tight end premium? If it's tight end premium, maybe you look at McBride. But I think I prefer. I like Bucky Irving. I think he's the real deal. I think he'll be in the NFL for a long time. PPR, not tight end premium. And what's the starting lineup? One quarterback, two running backs, two receivers or three receivers, one tight end and two flex. And there's any other wonky scoring, or is it pretty much standard across the board? I'm not the biggest Marvin Harrison guy. So you start three receivers. Hampton, I think, is in a great situation. And, in year two, I like Irving more than Hampton, though, personally. A.J. Brown is a good one. I mean, he's going to be there a while. That's close, man. That's a tough call. I think I'd go with Irving or A.J. Brown or McBride, one of those three. But it's close, man. Breece Hall. I like Bucky Irving. I don't know what it is. So appreciate the question, man. I think I prefer Irving or AJ Brown. But you know what? You can't go wrong with Garrett Wilson either, or McBride. I think the two that I wouldn't go after Harrison and I wouldn't go after Hampton. But the other guys I think I'd go after. No problem, man. Appreciate you for asking the question. Steve says, how many games do you think Rice will be suspended for? I think 6, possibly more. The lowest is going to be 4. But, I mean, again, 2 felony charges. I mean, Henry Ruggs is in jail for killing somebody. I mean, that could have happened. I mean, it was that serious. He fled the scene, 2 felony charges. He's going to go to jail for 30 days. He's on probation, which is another risky thing. If he messes up in any way, he could go to jail. He could get it. If he messes up, he's on probation. He's screwed. So he's got to stay scot-free clean now. Now he's going to be reporting to his PO officer. getting drug tests. So I think 6 games and maybe the very worst 8, 8 to 10 for Rice. All right. 2 spots left. Again, in RT Sports, you don't need to take in the draft, you don't need to take a receiver or running back. I mean, I'm sorry, a defense. It's getting late, folks. 1 a.m. on the East Coast. You don't need to take a defense or a kicker right now in the draft. You just got to be legal by week 1. So I'll figure that out then. Right now, I want to take guys that can possibly help my team, get good in camp, guys with some upside. And I'll just stream kickers and defenses. There's a couple receivers that I like left here. Well, one receiver that I like. I need a backup tight end. So I'm going to do that here. If he sticks around. I got a guy on mind. There's 2 guys that I like actually at tight end. And there's another quarterback that I like too. So let's get the tight end over with. And it's going to be Chig Okonkwo. I think he could have a breakout season with Cam Ward. And then we'll decide what we're going to do our last pick. Whether it's, I think I'm good at running back. Is there any other running backs I could possibly take here? I don't know. How many running backs do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Jordan James, Kendre Miller. I mean, my depth at running back is not the greatest. But at least I have 2 solid starters, and I have probably a starter in Jacksonville. And then Marshawn, get him back healthy. Could be the backup there. Emmanuel Wilson's also hurt too, so that kind of helps, even though Lloyd's out. Monungai, Ben Johnson talking him up today. Maybe he battles with Roschon. Get some carries. Jordan James could be backup for CMC. Or, at the very least, if CMC goes down, it'll probably be a split between him and Garendo. And Garendo just can't stay healthy. He's hurt again. And then Kendre Miller, I think I like his talent. He, again, another guy that can't stay healthy, but stayed healthy last year finally when he came back after Dennis Allen left. And I think Kamara could get shipped off at some point. There goes Harold Fannin Jr. I was thinking about him. I like him as a late pick. Could play in the slot there. A lot of 12 personnel supposedly for the Browns. I like him. His tape stands out. Played at Bowling Green, but you watch him playing against big D1 schools like Oregon. I think Oregon and one other team. He went off in those games. Guy's a stud. Great after the catch. Stiff arms guys like a running back. Ferocious player, man. He's different when you watch him. So I think it was a great pick by the Browns. And I think they're going to utilize both those guys. But I like Okonkwo now. 3rd year in the league. He's athletic. And I got Cam Ward. It's a little bit of a stack there. I got Dales, but I got nobody to stack him with. I had a chance to get Debo. Probably should have took him instead of Olave. We just have so much Debo. For this build, it made more sense to grab Debo. So probably should have did that. That was an error on my part. Again, I'm doing this show. It's late. Messed up. But normally I would take Debo, but it's fine. I don't mind having Dales without a stack. It's not like I necessarily need to stack, but it's good to have in these big tournaments. Steve says, thoughts on Garrett Wilson being a top 5 receiver with Fields throwing the ball to him? Well, I don't know about top 5, but Garrett Wilson should have a career season. Playing with Zach Wilson and all those the quarterback carousel, even Rodgers, Last year, his boy Devontae Adams comes in, screws everything up. So DJ Moore, 2 years ago with Fields, had a career season, 1,300 yards. I think, I don't know what it was, 9, 10 touchdowns. I have to go back and look. But Fields missed a month. Daniel Hunter knocked him out for a month. So Moore would have even had a better season. And Fields would have had a better season too. So, Fields gets shit on because he can't throw. He's one read quarterback, but he could throw. He's capable enough where he can make the throws to make a guy relevant. And don't forget either that Darnell Mooney had 1,000 yards with Fields as a quarterback. So Wilson's going to get a ton of targets. They're not projected to throw the ball and run the ball. I mean, throw the ball a lot. But they said the same thing when DJ Moore was there. And that's why people didn't really like DJ Moore, because Fields, the Bears weren't going to throw a lot. And look how that turned out. So top 5, I think there's a chance, maybe not. But either way, I think that Garrett Wilson's going to have a career year. So I like going after him. And I like getting those Fields-Wilson stacks. Thanks for the question again, Steve. All right, last pick of the night. Then we're going to get at it. And if you haven't liked and subscribed and hit that notification button yet, please do so. So my boy Fannin went. Did Anthony Richardson get taken? Nope. So that's what I'm going to take with my last pick. I'm going to take Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to win the job, and it just gives me a little bit more. Now I have Daniels, so do I need, and I Cam Ward. Do I need Richardson? No. But if he doesn't win the job, I cut him and I pick up a kicker or defense. Or if Daniels gets hurt, I got 2 guys that I can rely on, and Richardson keeps the job. Because if Anthony Richardson ends up being the starter, again, he was 2 years ago per drop back. He was like the highest fantasy quarterback score, per drop back. So if he's on the field, he's going to produce fantasy points. He can give you monster fantasy games. So that's why I take Anthony Richardson late in these drafts. And again, I think he's going to win the job. I've been watching a lot of his camp throws. They look good. He's throwing a lot of deep balls. They have a ton of weapons there in Indy, and they added Tyler Warren now. Alec Pierce is good. Adonai Mitchell's second year. Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Jonathan Taylor. That's a really good offense. And so whoever's steering it, whether it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, I think will be valuable for fantasy. But I do think it's going to be Anthony Richardson, and I do think that if he is a starter, he gives you much more upside than Daniel Jones as well. So if he stays healthy, that's been his problem too. Richardson will have a monster fantasy season if he starts the whole entire season. It'll just be, he can win leagues, and he'll be, you get him in the 20th round. If anything else, you steal him from the rest of your league mates. Somebody else from benefiting off that. So that's my take on Richardson. Couple more questions, then we'll get out of here. Who wins the quarterback job in Minnesota? Yeah, it's going to be McCarthy, man. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. McCarthy has got that job on lock. There's no other threats there. He's going to have a really good year. I went back and watched all his throws from last year. I'm really, really impressed by JJ McCarthy, and he's in such a great system in Minnesota there with the quarterback whisperer, who made Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins throw for 300 yards. So yeah, definitely, not even a question there, Steve. All right. Brian says he's back. Welcome back, man. Henry or Jacobs PPR? We're going Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's a machine. He's proven you give him 300 touches, he comes back strong. Josh Jacobs a few years ago had 300 touches with the Raiders and fell apart the next year. Now another huge workload last year for Jacobs. So a little bit of concern this year. May not run as much, but I think, they could mix in Marshall and Lloyd if that guy could freaking stay healthy. And Jacobs could wear down maybe a little bit this year, but he could be fine too and have a really, really nice season as well. So Jacobs really, he's proved pretty durable, but he's got, he's had a lot of usage. So go with Derrick Henry. You got to go with the big dog for sure there, Brian. So I appreciate everybody tonight. Steve, Brian, Christian, Will from before, Edward as well. Who else did I miss? Oh, Jay, Brommel, and Al and Jamie joining us earlier as well. Appreciate everybody tonight. Great show, 2 hours, long draft. I'm glad that I got it in. Let's break down the team one more time, then we'll get out of here. Christian McCaffrey, Brock Bowers, Garrett Wilson, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Johnson, Calvin Ridley, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, Bashal Tootin, Trey Harris, Darnell Mooney, Rashid Shaheed, Marshall and Lloyd, Xavier Legette, Kyle Monangai, Cam Ward, Jordan James, Kendre Miller, Chig Okonkwo, and Anthony Richardson. So my starting lineup in this league will be quarterback Jaden Daniels, 2 running backs, McCaffrey and Caleb Johnson, or maybe Tootin or Etienne. We're starting receivers Ridley and Olave. I'm sorry, Garrett Wilson and Ridley, or maybe Garrett Wilson and Olave. 2 flex, either Travis Etienne or Tootin, and then throw Olave or Ridley in there. Or could throw Shaheed or Trey Harris in there maybe. Tight end, we got Brock Bowers. And then the bench, Marshall and Lloyd, Legette, Monangai, Cam Ward, James Miller, Okonkwo, Richardson. So that's it. Real sports, real-time sports, fantasy life championship to win $500K grand prize. I believe the league prize is $1,200, 300 entry. We'll be doing a lot more of these high-stake drafts, FFPC, RotoWire, NFC, FFWC, best ball drafts, some other stuff, betting stuff as well. So that make sure you are liking, subscribing to the show. Follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. And that's going to be it, guys. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to leave the draft board up. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. Have a great night.